Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of Magic in the Mundanes Under the Influence. We are doing this on video. Why? Because if we're not evolving, we're dying. And apparently, I'm alive. So here we are. It is April 16th, and I am going to read for you. We're going to get into the cosmic influence of April 17th's new moon. This is a really special new moon to me, and it's why I have carved some time and space out to be with you in the sharing of this archetype. Um, we're going to call this one chaos training. And, the themes of this new moon are themes that I hope you feel touched by. We have a collective wound, and that collective wound is that we are pretty anal. We're pretty disordered in our concept of what order actually is. As you listen to this episode, I want you to just remember that we are coming back to the body. The body is a technology. The prime lens of human design is to dismiss, it's to retire the mind from decision making so that it can be awareness. And our bodies, which are made from the stuff of the earth, the elements of this earth that we are made from, so that our bodies can navigate, our bodies can decision make, our bodies can tune into the signals, the flows, the frequencies, the vibrations, be it smell or color or light or, whatever it is. We don't have to overthink this. This is the mundane plane, and our bodies were perfectly made to navigate this plane. Perfectly made to navigate this plane. So, as we have this conversation, and you hear me talking about chaos training, and you hear me talking about no mess, no magic, no mess, no magic, you want magic? You got to be willing to get into the mess. I want you to just return the frame to play. When I say mess, what I mean is abandon. Abandon. I mean, it's throwing the caution that our mind encourages us to take to the wind and practicing being in trust of what is true through our body technology. That's the premise of human design. It is the body technology through which life force flows. It is the body technology that knows when you have energy available for something versus when you do not. It is the body technology that actually knows how to navigate. But we have to come back. We have to come back to being the authority, the author of our own experience. And this new moon weaves together all of these thematics through one of my favorite archetypes, the gate 3. So before we get into, we're going to look at the body graph. We're going to go into screen share. I'm going to take you through like I would if I was talking to a client about these transits. And these transits are really, if I was going to give you a distillate, if you're like, Alyssa, 30 seconds, go. What the fuck is up in this transit? This is mutation, something new, something innovative, something creative is being brought to your community through the individual. We've got the channel of mutation, the 360 defined, and the channel of community, which has been defined since like fucking February, right? The 3740, which connects the will or the heart to the emotional solar plexus. And so what we have here, long story very short, is a mutation that's occurring through the individual that will affect the community. Now, before we get into looking at the transit and going in and unpacking, I want you to feel me on this. I just said we have a collective wound, right? And that collective wound, the wound that I am perceiving, is that we have been made to perceive play as something that's self-indulgent, something that's unnecessary, something that's not productive. Well, as someone who has their design sun in the very gate, in the very line that this new moon is in, which is why it's quite special to me, and I know it very well. I can speak on it very well because it is such a fucking part of my experience. I will tell you this, we have to heal this wound. And right now, the new moon being the moment that the moon meets the sun, and because they're so close together, we can't see the moon. The new moon is conjunct, it's cozied up with, it's in coitus. The moon, the sun, and Chiron are making love. They are all woven together in this moment, which means that their energies merge and we get to experience all of them. A new moon is a time where we plant seeds. We plant a new seed. We say something new is here. And what's gorgeous about this gate 3 is that it's all about something new. It's the gate of difficulty at the beginning. It's the third gate. It is the gate called the gate of ordering. But I hesitate to say that to you because when I say ordering, your conditioned mind perceives order as linear. It perceives order as a tight anus, a clenching, a white knuckling, a buckling down, a shallow breathing. And that's not what I'm fucking talking about. So I need you to get out of your conditioned mind. Close your eyes. If you have the privilege to do so, go ahead and go outside. And before we start this conversation, I want to invite you in to connect with the heartbeat, to connect with the body metronome, the rhythm keeper of your body home. And to do this, it's really quite simple. If you have the luxury of closing your eyes, do. But if you don't, it's all good. If you're sitting or standing, doesn't matter. Go ahead and take a deep breath into the nose, audible exhale. And then start to let your flesh soften. Start to let your flesh hang off the bone, drop any posture you may hold. And tune your attention to the rhythm keeper that is your heart. Listen for the beat. Feel it. Don't move your hand there. Just tune in and listen. If this takes you a moment, it's okay. And once you feel that beat, go ahead and let's take like 10 seconds of silence. Just listening to the beat of our heart, feeling it bang the body drum. Let your breath build on top of it. And then once you get that heartbeat, go ahead and follow it out to the shoulders, follow it out to the shoulders. And then as you follow it out to the shoulders, follow it down the arms to the pulse in your wrists. If you're having trouble finding it, make sure your hands are hanging by your side or in your lap. And just feel how your vital energy, your life force, is moving through your body vehicle. You don't have to do a fucking thing. Just listen. And then maybe you even notice that body drum, that reverb all the way in your fingertips, pulsing, maybe in your throat, maybe in your groin, maybe in your belly or your solar plexus. And just stay there listening, feeling it reverberate out into the field of the body, right around you, a couple inches around your body. And as you feel this, let yourself just relax into it. There's nothing to do here, but listen. There's nothing to do here but listen. Or at the beginning, a new moon in the Aries gate 3. A gate that in human design sits right at the threshold of creation. It is part of the pulse, the format energy that pulses on and off. It connects with the root, stress, pressure, the rhythm of life, the pulse on, the pulse off, the pulse on, the pulse off. This gate is literally called in the I Ching difficulty at the beginning. This is the energy that is primordial. It's the energy that's moving before we perceive any order in it. It's the first spark before we start narrating it into something. And there's a sacral buzz, a sacral hum that if you just tapped into your body, you can feel the life force thrum. It's primal, it's primordial, it's primeval, it is primary. And it asks us to feel it, to experience it. And as we feel it and we experience it, as we feel that beating heart, that body drum, that body metronome, we start to feel a rhythm. We start to feel a rhythm, a pulsing on, a pulsing off, a pulsing on, a pulsing off, a pulsing on, a pulsing off. And from that pulse, we ask, can I create something from this? Can something be made from the mess? Is there magic in the mess? You see, this question, is there magic in the mess? Of course, there's fucking magic in the mess. You know who you're talking to. And I just want to show you what this looks like. We're going to pop into screen share real quick, and then we're going to come back to the point. But, I just want to show you what I am looking at. This is what we're looking at here. This body graph is for April 17th. And we're looking at a body graph where the sun, the moon, and Chiron, I'll show you, are all sitting poised in this gate 3, this gate of difficulty at the beginning. This gate that says life is happening. You can see it sitting in the sacral, and it's connected to the root by way of the gate of limitation. Difficulty at the beginning. It says life is happening. There's a thrum of energy happening. And when we're at the beginning of something, and if you see me looking over here, I have some hand scribbled notes happening over here because I am very tactile. I'm very kinesthetic. Whoa, chaos. And I like to write. I like to write to get into the mood. So this gate says, hey, we're at the beginning of something new. But it doesn't even know it's at the beginning. That's how primordial this energy is. It's like this is pure, unadulterated life force, okay? Please understand. And to this energy, play is technology, play is a strategy, play is how we innovate. But to our conditioned not self, we've been taught that play is unruly, it's self-indulgent, it's too messy, it never gets anything done, it's irresponsible, right? We have been taught that we have to do things the right way, and that right way rarely ever involves play because play actually asks us to be in our bodies. It asks us to surrender to our physical form. This gate 3 does not live in the mind. Remember, this gate 3 lives in the sacral, in the center for life force energy. Life force. The sacral is the center that Eros animates us through. The sacral is the center that life force moves through. It says, can you feel the sum of life-preserving instincts? Life-preserving instincts that are manifest as impulses, that are manifest as sublimated impulses. That's the emotional center. Instincts, the splenic center. These are all connected. And this new moon energy in the gate 3, in the gate of difficulty at the beginning, is asking us, hey, can you get into your body? Can you get into your body and then use your body to play? Now, here's where we get into some interesting experiencing. When you hear play, what do you think of? You think of children. Richard Rudd calls this gate 3, through the eyes of a child, through the eyes of children. And when we're thinking about this gate difficulty at the beginning, it is spanning the shadow of chaos to the highest expression, the citic state of innocence. And the pathway there is through innovation. But I would actually challenge that the pathway there, let's take out the word innovation and let's use the word play. But the thing about us is that we have forgotten how to play. This new moon is conjunct Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. This is bringing our attention so fucking explicitly that if any of us missed this, it would be a goddamn shame. Chiron is bringing our attention to the the truth that we have forgotten how to play because we have forgotten how to be in our bodies and we have forgotten how to trust. And that forgetting is actually a strategy. It's a strategy that has occurred because we are distracted. We are overstimulated into numbness. We have forgotten what it feels like to be connected to aliveness. And we have gotten all too comfortable with comfort. Comfort is now the thing we perceive as our baseline. This decreases our capacity for sensation. The energy of this new moon in the gate 3 is unstructured, it is generative, it is weird, it is wild, it is alive. And if you have ever been shamed for being too much or too loud or scattered or impulsive, then you know the story that we're talking about here. This gate is called difficulty at the beginning because the archetype of the beginning is an energy before we've established order. The beginning of anything is chaotic feeling. Why is it chaotic feeling? Why? Why? Because it's novel, it's new, it's uncertain. And we, many of us, live lives that are very certain. They're very rutted into the same old familiar patterns. This isn't bad. Resist the temptation to make anything good or bad. Just feel it as it lands in your body. Things are difficult at the beginning because the beginning is confused. We're not super comfortable with confusion, are we? We have forgotten how to be our own authority, how to discern, how to sense make from our body and our mind cohesiveness, coherence. There's a these body vehicles, I am just hitting my seventh year of deconditioning. And I'm just beginning to fully grasp the fucking intelligence that these bodies, mind included, the brain is part of the body, that these bodies have access to. But the reason that we don't use them well is because we've been conditioned to decision make from the mind. We have, through religious conditioning and the structures that it builds, been taught to sever ourselves from the body, from the flesh, right? We've been taught to spiritually bypass our fucking bodies. Oh, follow a diet, count your calories, control your body, control your impulses. The flesh is not trustable, right? We are uncomfortable with people who are deeply in their body because we have been taught to perceive that as sexual, when really it's actually just the way that our animal bodies are made. They're made to be lived in. Just check in with yourself right now. Can you feel your feet on the floor? Difficulty at the beginning is an archetype that is full of confusion. It's full of chaos because chaos and confusion are the vital creative elements. Confusion is a fertile place, but we have to be able to be in discomfort in order to utilize the confusion. And so, because we have a low capacity for sensation because of the houses that we live in and the way that we access our food, right? Like getting food is very comfortable. We've sterilized the whole process of eating and connecting to food. Being a human in a home is very comfortable. We've sterilized the whole process of sleeping and connection. And again, don't good or bad this shit. I'm not saying anything is right or wrong. What I am saying though is that we have removed ourselves so far from sensation, myself included. I can talk about this because I also experience it. We have disconnected ourselves from the sensation of being human so fully in exchange for comfort that when any even smidgen, even any little particle, any iota of chaos or confusion comes in, oh fuck that shit. That's uncomfortable. You mean the unknown, the uncertain? You mean standing at the edge of the chasm, feeling gravity pull my body down? You mean I'm not in ultimate control? We don't like that shit, do we? But that's what I would challenge. I actually think we're made for that shit. I think you, I think me, I think we are actually made for that shit. And when we wall ourselves off from it, We sacrifice aliveness. And we've gotten comfortable doing that because anything new, anything novel, anything innovative is uncomfortable because we come to the edge of the unknown. We come to uncertainty. Uncertainty comes in and our assholes fucking pucker and they clench and our breath gets shallow and we allow fear to overpower our breath. We say, oh, I can only trust if I am in control. But what this new moon shows us is that we actually need a new way. We actually need a new way. And the reason that I got so turned on today to record this episode is because Friday, April 3rd, I had the pleasure and the honor of going to dance with a friend um, to this DJ. His name is Yosuke Yukimatsu. Yosuke Yukimatsu. Yousuke Yukimatsu. And his music is fucking chaotic. It is innovative. It is playful. It is overwhelming. And I got there, and me and my friend were like, okay, we get there at the his set starts, and I can feel my body. Well, really, actually, I can feel my mind start to try to grab for something. Like the bass is loud. There's a sea of bodies, and there's like when there's a sea of bodies in a dark space, and bass starts happening, and lights are blinking. There's just like a fucking chaos to it. You're like, okay, there's a power here that's way bigger than me, and my body feels that, and my mind just recognized that. And now that my mind has recognized that, at the edge of the chasm. Well, as Richard Rudd points out in Gene Keys, the word chasm and the word chaos are very similar and may even have been born of each other. That's beside the point. I feel my whole mind go, buckle up, grab onto something, panic. And then I was like, yeah, no, we're here to get lost in the music. We're here to surrender to a sound bath that is a power that is far bigger than our body. That's what we're here for. And then I heard the words acoustically, chaos training. And that's all I needed. I heard the words chaos training and I smiled to myself and I took a big old deep breath into my belly. And I closed my eyes and I let my hips start to sway back and forth and back and forth. And I let my head start to move. And before I knew it, I was in. Before I knew it, I was swallowed by the sea of sound, the music grounding me down, bouncing my cells, vibrating the water in my body. And all of a sudden, I was playing. We have been taught, though, to be afraid of that energy. We have been taught to to fear that moment of surrender. We've lost trust with, we've lost trust. We've lost touch with trust. We've lost touch with trust because oftentimes what is asking us to trust is so sensational and we're not well trained in the sensational, are we? This is why when I am working with clients with human design as our foundation, we integrate the erotic. Erotic integration is the mechanism that says, hey, you have to, if you want to decondition, it's going to be cringy, it's going to be sensational. You have to increase your capacity for sensation if you want to return to the freedom of your uniqueness. You just have to. You think it's going to be bland becoming yourself? No, it's bland following the right way and being good and following the rules as a way that we stay safe. That's what's bland. It's very sensational. It's vivid. It is electrifying to come home to being yourself. And we need sensational capacity to do this. It is terrifying to stand at the precipice of something, of the chasm, of the chaos. Difficulty at the beginning connects us with this gravitas, this feeling of like, oh my fucking goddess and all of her wild lovers. I don't know what's happening here. And I want you to just say that out loud for a second. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's happening here. I want you to take that with you because there's a holiness in the not knowing. There's a holiness in the profane. We are made to think, oh, I have to know where I'm going and what's happening. Well, this gate actually says the exact opposite. This gate says to us, listen, you don't create order by controlling. You don't create order by forcing. You don't create order by furrowing your eyebrows and trying to see the gridded lines. The fundamental challenge of initiation, put specifically, what's really hard about starting anything new. I should say, put plainly, not specifically, although same, same. What's really fucking hard about starting anything new is the challenge of transcending confusion and establishing order. But order is not something we choose. Order exists naturally. We just don't always see it. Look, when you look at this body graph, when you look at this human design body graph, what you see probably looks like chaos. You're like, holy shit, there's a lot of information here. What do I even do with this? This is a lot of information. Now, when I first looked at the body graph, I went, holy shit, what do I even do with this? This is a lot of information. But as someone who is turned on by chaos, I'm a chaos gremlin. My design sun is in the gate of ordering. I have a pattern recognition around how this dance goes. And I know that how the dance goes is essentially something along the lines of you enter into an experience. You don't even realize you've entered into an experience. It's new. So there's no pattern recognition. However, there's a lot of sensation. And if, in order to start to try to feel safe, you start narrating that sensation in order to try to juxtapose your own mind's order onto the sensation, you're probably going to get very confused. You're probably going to be quite disordered. You're probably going to be white knuckling. You're probably going to be holding on to things that aren't actually there and that aren't actually true just so that you feel safe. That's not what this gate asks us to do. That's not what this new moon archetype, the sun, the moon, and Chiron, which you can't see anymore because I want you to be able to see this. That's not what it asks us to do. It asks us to say, hey, I know this is new. I know there's a fundamental challenge here. I know it's hard to initiate, to be initiated, to start something new. And right now we are being initiated. As I stood there at that show and I danced and I moved and I let myself, rather than be like, oh my God, this is too much, this is overwhelming, I let myself be like, baby girl, this is chaos training. You breathe right into that. You feel the bass slam into your heart. You open your heart even more. Woof, you trust that your body was made for this. And you rock and you move and you groove and you let yourself become the music. You let it make you move. As I did that, you know what came forward? What came forward are these words. We have to feel like we belong here if we want to imagine something new, and we have to imagine something that is worth living into if we want to make it through this time. We have to divert our energy, divert our attention away from the distraction. We have to understand that if we're in the distraction and we're getting overstimulated, we're going to become anal or disordered. You are engaging right now with someone whose body was lived in this shadow for years. I experienced an eating disorder that was so psychologically intense. It wasn't about food. People's food problems are not about food, y'all. The surface is not where our attention should lie. Food is the surface. Food is the medium through which anal and disordered plays out. Just like porn is the medium through which anal and disordered plays out. Just like so many things. Money, relationships. These are the surfaces through which chaos, anal disordered plays out. Now, chaos is not the problem. How we interface with chaos is the problem. And the problem is we don't have capacity for sensation. We have numbed ourselves out. They're being overstimulated while being in safe environments. Not all of us, but a lot of us. Not everybody is safe here. I am a white woman who is privileged enough to feel safe most of the time. And even as that, I know that mostly my safety comes from me. But the more in our bodies we can be, the safer we will feel. I promise you. And I know that that is not necessarily the case and it's not necessarily intuitive because probably it was being in your body in the first place and feeling overwhelmed by sensation or feeling something really uncomfortable or feeling a trauma or an abuse that made you pop out of your body or disconnect or dissociate from the sensation happening. I understand. And I'm sorry if that's your experience. And we have to find our way back in. We have to find our way back into our bodies. We just have to if we desire to play, which, with what I'm tracking, if we're not playing, then we're just stuck in this overstimulated into numb. I have to have comfort body, but then we open our phones and we're not in comfort at all. We're disconnected from our bodies, discombobulated by the amount of information coming in, and have no fucking clue how to dance with the chaos. And because we have no clue how to dance with the chaos, we cannot innovate. We cannot return to innocence. So we try to force order. We try to force order. But the whole thing is that order cannot be forced. There's already order there. We just can't see it. And we can't see it if we're not playing. We can't see it if we're not in our bodies. We have to be in our bodies, feeling that pulse, feeling that heartbeat, feeling the signal, feeling the call, feeling, oh, I have energy available for this. So even though my mind just erected a construct that said, don't do that, you shouldn't do that, I know that that is homogenized, not self-mind. I know that that construct that just went, that's bad, don't do that, comes from me trying to be comfortable by following the rules. This new moon conjunct Chiron is like, listen, the anal disordered rules that you've been taught to follow disconnect you from the rhythm of life. If you're going, oh, so what the fuck do you mean the rhythm of life? Which I know you're not, because you wouldn't be fucking tuned into me if you were disconnected from the rhythm of life. You know what that feels like. You do. You felt it like however many minutes ago when you closed your eyes and tuned into your heartbeat. And you felt it pulse through your veins and your arteries, and you felt the reverb in your pulse, and you felt the energy at your fingertips. You and me are part of something that is way bigger than any of us. It is an intelligence that we are made from, that we are honed by. And it's by returning to the body to decision make from the body. Which, listen, when I say decision make, something I've come to understand is that many people will just understand the term decision making as if it's like a mind choice, as if it's like a construct. But every moment when your finger clicked on Magic in the Mundane podcast and you're like, holy shit, Alyssa hasn't released a podcast in a minute. I'm just going to click on this. And you weren't planning to. You just, your impulse brought you there. Your body went, I have energy available for that. And it flowed right from your fucking heart down through your arm, boom. And you hit the button with your finger. That's the rhythm. That's the pulse. That's body-based decision making. You're doing it already. What I'm trying to seduce you into, coax you into, is the fact that you can live your whole life that way. You can live your whole life that way. But you got to know a thing or two about how to do that. And what's important as we have this conversation is that you understand that it's through the body. Look at this body graph. We have the sacral center connected to the root through a forma energy channel called the channel of mutation. This is an energy, as you can see right here, that pulses on and pulses off. It pulses on, it pulses off. I call this energy the trust thrust because this energy, when it's pulsed off, feels melancholic. Melancholy is a response to a high. When I have a peak experience in my life and I am flooded with all of these feel-good chemicals and I feel connected to something bigger and pleasure and hope is flowing through the rivers of my veins. And then that experience ends and I withdraw from that feeling. I feel moody. I feel melancholic. I feel like I wish the high never ended. But I have to trust that in that pause, in the pulse off, in the no, I don't have energy available, in the ebb, there's a mutation happening. There's something new happening. And that's what's happening right now. You see, Aries season starts in the gate 25, which actually just happens to be available to us because Neptune is there, also in Aries gate. So is Mercury, right? So right now, Neptune and Mercury are conjunct in this gate 25. This gate 25 says to us, listen, you can't fucking contrive innocence. This is the perfection of action through uncontrived and spontaneous nature. Hear that. Let me say it plainly. Any action you take from the organic flow of energy, anytime you drop the anchor of your exhale, the anchor of your awareness into your body, and you feel the pulse and you let your body move to the current that it's connected to, just like you would put a tube in a lazy river and you would float down it. Anytime you do that, you're connected to perfection. We live lives that are so contrived, and it disconnects us from innocence. It disconnects us from universal love. It disconnects us from the fucking flow. And because this new moon is in a second line, the 3.2, the line of the hermit, the mantra I teach that goes with that line is protect your flow. The second line needs to be in the flow. The hermit pulls away not because it doesn't like people, but because people take it out of its flow. The second line is the natural, it's the dancer, it's fluid, it's spinal, it moves, and it needs to feel the flow to move. It needs to hear the rhythm to dance. Something new is happening and we cannot contrive it. Aries season started with a fucking bang because Saturn and Neptune were in the gate 25 together. Boom. The sun comes in and meets it. This gate 25 moves from constriction. I have to hold on tight, right? It's what my brain started to do, what my mind started to do when I got to that show. And it was like, holy shit, this is really overwhelming. There's so much sound happening. There's so much light happening. And then I heard chaos training. And my inner chaos gremlin was like, that's right. You need to train yourself for chaos because you've grown up in a strange comfort that's very distorted and totally a veneer and not true at all. And okay, take a deep breath, relax. It's time to practice, baby girl. Aries season starts with innocence. And you can see it right here. Look at in the I Ching, this gate 25, it's called the gate of innocence. And then it brings us all the way back around the last archetype in Aries season, which we are in now with this new moon and Chiron conjunct, is innocence. Innocence ought to be protected, not in a way where we make ourselves so precious that we're not willing to experience aliveness. To quote Carolyn Elliott, fear and arousal are very similar, right? The only difference is breath. The only difference is breath. Aliveness comes from innocence. The reason that I am so connected to the current of the erotic, so connected to the current of Eros, is because I am connected to innocence. And I'm willing to protect that innocence. Not in a way that makes me precious, but in a way where I say, hey, that contrivance, I'm not willing to do that. And that's the thing about the energies. that we are in right now, they have extracted what is good. They have extracted what is innocent, turned it around and sold it to you. But then it's contrived and then it's not innocent. This new moon says, listen, you can't fake this shit. You can't fake it till you make it. That is a contrivance. Feel it. Feel what's happening. Experience it. Let it move you. Recognize it is play. Recognize that all of this is play. Look around you right now. Have you ever moved somewhere new and you haven't lived there a year yet? And so you don't know what the seasons are like. You don't know what the smells are like. You don't know what the bird sounds are like. You don't know when it precipitates, when the rain comes, when the snow comes. You have no idea. It's chaos. You're like, I don't know what's going to fucking happen. I don't need know when I need to put my snow tires on. Do I need to carry chains? I don't know where the moon rises. I don't even know where the sun rises. Goodness, I think that's east. You're in this new place for the first time, so you have no pattern recognition. You don't start going, "Oh, I'm gonna just juxtapose order onto all of this. I'm just gonna make it up so that I feel comfortable." You don't do that. You start watching. You start experiencing as you watch. You start breathing into your experience, and as you do, you have an experience, and as you have an experience, you go, "Huh, got it. This is what spring smells like here. This is when the birds come out. This is when the hummingbirds come back. This is when the monsoons come. This is when the snow builds up. This is when the rivers rush." You know, you perceive the order in the chaos as you experience the chaos. And naturally, because we're pattern recognizing beings, that's what's kept us alive, you start to recognize the patterns. And then you start to play with them. And this is the same outside of us as it is within us. The player adapts to the game, and the game adapts to the player. Go back like 2 springs ago. When was that? Was it spring? Yeah, it was. It was Taurus season. Go back 2 springs ago. I had my first vulnerability hangover ever after making a podcast for that episode because that episode came fucking through me like I had never experienced before. And it was all about the gate 28, which is there was a Scorpio full moon, if I'm remembering correctly. We were in Taurus season. The gate 28 is the gate of the game player. And this is where this phrasing that had come to me, I have it on my bulletin board on a bleached out index card from years ago. The player adapts to the game and the game adapts to the player. I need you to hear what I'm saying. You are a player. The word play is in that title. And when you recognize that and you realize that it is play that bridges us from chaos to innocence, from chaos into innovation, you can start to relax your grip a little. You can take a deep breath into your asshole. You can let go. You can let your belly soften. You can feel the rhythm. You can take a deep breath and be like, right, I am playing. And listen, the Maya, the mundane, it's beautiful. And it's gonna pull you back into being like, holy shit, this is terrifying. And that's when we get to remember what Terence McKenna so eloquently told us. Oh, I'm on a new computer, so I don't have it here. Let's see if I can recall it. Nature loves courage. You make the commitment, and nature will respond to that commitment by removing impossible obstacles. The world will not grind you under, it will lift you up. This is what all those philosophers who touched alchemical gold, who really counted, this is what they knew. This is the shamanic dance in the waterfall. This is how magic is done, by hurling yourself into the abyss and discovering it's a feather bed. When we stand at the edge of the abyss, it is overwhelming to feel gravity, to feel the force of the chasm, of the chaos, of the unknown. And it is also right there that we touch in on arousal. It is right there that we go, oh, my sacral saying, yes, I have energy available to hurl myself off the cliff into the abyss. And then we have all of these ideas that come up about the abyss and what it is and what's happening in there and why we should never go in there. Because that's what our homogenized mind has been taught. Oh, the unknown? No, 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 no. Stay. Stay out of there. Come back. Come back to safety. Well, what is safety? What is it? I'll tell you this. I feel the most safe when I trust myself. And when I trust myself the most is when I feel my own body and I learn how to use my body to make my own decisions. I feel the most safe when I take responsibility for my own experience. Even if it fucking sucks, when I go, okay, Liz, well, here's the thing. This is what's happening. Here's what's alive. Great. Got it. Thank you. Okay. I feel the most safe when I trust myself. And when I trust myself and I practice chaos training. Listen, if you're like, Alyssa, how the fuck do I practice chaos training? Hire me and I'll show you. I kid, but I also don't kid at all. How we practice chaos training. Okay, hold on. I gotta have some tea. Also, I just want you to know that this microphone is perfectly adorned with I don't know how many years of cat fur. I hope some of you are like, is this what this is? So what this looks like behind the scenes? Yes. Chaos training. Dance. Find some DJ sets. You can hit me up and I will send them to you, or I'll put some links below or in the Substack. Find some fucking DJ sets that are chaotic, not just like the fun house bounce shit. Like, go in and commit yourself and be like, okay, I give myself 1 hour to dance to this music. My only job is to focus and to listen. And if the movement just starts like this with your head, great. That's chaos training. Chaos training is moving your body. Chaos training is breathing into sensation. Touch your pussy, touch your cock. Breathe into it. Don't make it about orgasm. Be with the sensation. Be with the chaos. What starts happening in your mind? Breathe into it. Be with the mess. No mess, no magic. Yes, mess. Yes, magic. You know? So here's the thing about this new moon. It's conjunct Chiron, which is telling us that Chiron's the wounded healer. And it's telling us, listen, there's a collective wound. And part of that collective wound is that we have lost touch with play. Now, this lunation cycle is unexpectedly personal. The gate 3 is very personal. And because it's in the second line, the first 3 lines, the investigator, first line, the hermit, the second line, and the martyr, the third line, they're personal lines. This is a very personal new moon. And the conjunction of Chiron in Aries, the wound that tends to center around the right to exist, the right to exist. When we sever ourselves from play, we are essentially saying, I don't have the right to exist. And this new moon conjunct Chiron is like, listen, you do. And you're wounded there. And Chiron's not the wound, it's the wounded healer. So it's the right to exist that we boldly get initiated into. Now, remember, there's a fundamental challenge to initiation. And it's to fucking transcend confusion and establish order. This is why we need to be able to be in confusion, because you know what confusion leads to? 64, 64. You know the 64? The 64th gate, the 64th gene key. Confusion leads to imagination. When we can be with confusion and not perceive the sensational discomfort of it as bad, it helps us to imagine something new. This is what came to me as I danced there. I mean, this is Gene Key's language. This is human design. This is a map. This is the I Ching, the book of changes. If we're not changing, we're dying. If we're not transcending, we are dying. If we're not evolving, if we're not adapting, we're dying. And there's a lot of husks of humans out there who are willing to die while they put their bodies in expensive sports cars and drink lots of alcohol and spend money on things that don't fucking matter because they're hungry for aliveness. And it's only the contrivance of aliveness that we've come to know. This is not the real way. This is not play. This is a symptom. These are all symptoms. All of this, I'm not even going to go into the naming, just you know what I'm talking about. It's not, it's that's the symptom. Those are the symptoms of a life without play. And there's lots of people who have consented to that life. This is a seed planting moment right now for the reclamation of your instinctual self. This is a seed planting moment right now for the self that says, I live in a body. And that body is connected to an intelligence. And that intelligence communicates with me through a rhythm. And that rhythm connects me to aliveness. And that aliveness ensures that I am playing even when it's challenging. Play is not always fun and it's not always comfortable. I just came back from a fucking brilliant experience called Sapience. I highly recommend it. It is probably the only work I've ever done that I would say anyone should go do this. Like it will change your life. And it's all about play. There's a synchronicity here that happened for me that got me to take the time to make the time to record this episode. The synchronicity of this being my design sun, this gate 3, the synchronicity of without precognition of it in at that show going, this is chaos training. Holy shit, we need chaos training. We need to practice being in our bodies when there's sensation happening. Because right now we are being subject to more information than ever. Pluto and Aquarius squaring this new moon. What do we do with that information? Well, when we're in our bodies and we're playing, we are actually able to utilize that information coming in rather than get lost in the dreamy, hyperactive fantasy. Gate 41. That's the shadow. When we actually get into our body, we become connected to the energy of holy anticipation. Our bodies know what to do with the energy. Now, if you're sitting there going, Alyssa, this is all well and good, but my body's not like your body. My body doesn't know what to do. I hear you. This is why you need human design. And you need it the way that I teach it. You need it with the method that I use. You can do it lots of other ways. I don't know if they'll work. I've done this way. So I know it works. There's a human design problem. That's not actually a human design problem. It's the same problem that when a dietitian says to someone, oh, intuitive eat, and the person's totally connected from their intuition, which lives in their body. They're like, I don't know how to do that. How do I intuitive eat? The fucking root problem here is that we are disconnected from our body vehicles. That's why you don't know how to do your human design and you think it's a typing system and you walk around going, I'm a projector, I'm so special. No, you're not. I mean, yes, you are. You're very special, but not because you're a projector. You're special because there's instructions, there's a method, there's a practice, there's an embodiment that will move you toward your specialness, toward actualizing, toward realizing your specialness, your uniqueness through play. But you have to be willing to practice. And the practice is the play. This new moon square Pluto in the gate 41 says, hey, if you are stuck up in your head because you're feeling overwhelmed by the amount of information coming in, you're stuck in a hyperactive, dreamy state and you're not going to be able to do anything with it. You're going to feel pressure for a new experience to happen, but you're not going to know how to fucking dance with it. You're not going to know how to make it materialize. Get into your body. This is a root gate. The root is the energy center that literally correlates with the earth body. It is the root. It is the ground of the body. It is the antenna for the rhythm. And we have to be listening for that rhythm if we want to play. Otherwise, it's contrived. And you can see that here, this Pluto gate that's squaring the new moon and squaring the new moon that's conjunct Chiron. When we are connected to our bodies, to our roots, to the base of your body. Just drop your breath there for a second. Let the anchor of your exhale drop all the way down to your asshole, to your perineum, to your pussy, to your cock, to your balls. Just drop it. Now walk around like that. And you'll notice that your body is anticipating the environment all the time. You don't have to be up in your mind trying to know what's going to happen next. You just have to trust that your body knows what's going to happen next. And if you're like, Alyssa, my body's not like yours, it's not going to wholly anticipate, that's where you're wrong. You need to practice. This is why I'm saying go dance. Put some good headphones in. Put some good headphones in and find some techno house or some house music or some whatever. I like Mira. I like Ramona. Like I said, I'll put some links and practice. You don't have to look good. It's not about what you look like. It's practicing focusing on listening with your body. That's it. Listen with your body. Okay. Now, when we do that, we will always protect innocence. When we listen with our body, we will always protect innocence. You know why? Because we will feel our limits naturally, which you can see right here, the gate of limitation, the gate 60, also called the gate of acceptance. Sometimes people go, what the fuck? How are limitation and acceptance connected? Well, it's a great question. The acceptance of our limitations is the first step to transcendence. And you can see right here how there's a whole formula materializing just in this channel. Transcendence. Remember where that word was earlier in our conversation? The fundamental challenge of initiation is the transcendence of confusion, to transcend confusion. Well, okay, so if we accept our limitations, then we can transcend confusion. Hey, I have a limit. My limit is I don't see the pattern yet. I can feel the rhythm, but I don't see the pattern. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to let myself feel the rhythm. I just admitted a limit. Let me accept it. Let me work within the limit. The moment I accept something, it will transform. The moment I accept my limit, I can work within my limit. And the moment I work within my limit, I stay in my experience. Stay in your experience. You know how you do that? You stay in your body. You honor. I don't have energy available. Sacral, no. Arousal is not happening. Versus sacral, yes. Yes, it is. It's flowing, it's moving, it's going. You're getting a whole human design lesson right now while we're talking about the transits. This is timeless. Timeless. Get it? List. Timeless. Anyone? Okay. So if you're going, listen, my body's not like yours, I don't know. Yeah, yes, it is. My body wasn't like this either. I used to count calories. I used to have restricted eating. I used to repress my fucking sex drive. I used to override my connection to psychic understanding and acoustic awareness. I have honed my body intelligence through 7 years of deconditioning using the system of human design, using the method of strategy and authority, the way I teach, which is strategy, sensation, authority. You can come join the community and I will walk you through it. This is how we turn on. This is how we turn on. And that's what we need to do right now. We need to turn on so that we are able to play. Okay? So as we wrap this up here, I want to just go really big picture. Change is necessary. I think all of us can agree that change is necessary. And based on the imprint, the holographic imprint that you're looking at right now, when you look at this body graph, based on this holographic imprint, you can see actually that change is very much what's happening. And we can see that because the channel of mutation, to mutate, is to bring in something new. Think about a genetic mutation. It brings in something new. Mutation is innovation. Mutation is creation. Mutation is the next thing, the thing that's built off of the thing before it that's a little different. You're a mutation that came from your parents. And if you have a child, they will be a mutation of you. So we have this channel of mutation in the imprint, and then we have this channel of community. And so what this says to me is through the individual, through the mutation of the individual, through the transformation of you, through the change of you, through you saying, I'm going to get in my body and I'm going to learn how to navigate this earth body through my body. I'm going to learn to listen for my signal. I'm going to learn to respect when I have energy available or not. I'm not going to contrive my experience. And when I do, I'm going to feel, oh shit, that was really frustrating. Oh shit, now I feel bitter. Oh, I acted from the conditioned right way rules. Now I feel angry. There's body feedback happening all the time. My solar plexus feels hooked. I feel hollowed out. I feel anxious. I feel nervous. I feel depressed. I'm holding something back. Okay, got it. My body is communicating with me. And my body's also communicating with me on the other side. Desire moves us in a direction. It says, hey, there's arousal here, there's turn on here, there's life force here. Yes, there's something here for you. And that doesn't mean we have to project the desire onto someone or something and then get attached to it. It means something's alive for you here. And when you can follow that, there is not contrivance and instead there is play because you're willing to throw your hands up and go, hey, I surrender to how the energy is flowing. That's the story of this new moon. I surrender to how the energy is flowing. I got to do my chaos training. I got to get comfortable in the uncomfortable because when I can do that, then I have the capacity to imagine something new from what is uncomfortable. I have the imagination. I have the sensational capacity to be with the chaos because the chaos is only chaos because you and I do not perceive order in it yet, but there is order in it. We just don't see it yet. And if we're not willing to play, we will never see it. That same reverence you feel when you stand at the edge of the ocean and you're about to jump in, that's the reverence of chaos. There's a force there. There's a force at work that you just can't see the patterns in yet. But you will if you're willing to play. But you gotta be willing to play. You gotta be willing to play. And when you do play, remember, you'll change. And as you change, the game you're playing will change. The player adapts to the game, and the damn game, the game adapts to the player. It's just how it goes. I can tell you this, not just because it sounds cute and I'm like, oh, it's a cute saying, but because I have experienced it. So this new moon conjunct Chiron, we heal the wound of this new moon by being willing to play. By being willing to play. Chaos is the training ground. Summon your inner chaos gremlin. If we can't do that, what comes from this information overload from Pluto and Aquarius is it's not gonna feel good. But if we can go, oh, our minds only perceive such a small amount of information compared to our bodies, and our bodies are actually connected, not just to this earth body, but also to other bodies, bodies who we've tasted, who we've touched, who we've exchanged gas with. This is Eros, y'all. This is the uncontrived and innocent expression of the erotic, intimate interconnection of all things, which we will feel. I promise you, you will feel that when you're willing to play. And if you don't believe me, test the hypothesis. Test the hypothesis. Yeah, that's the chaos gremlin face, baby. Look at it. Look at it. That's right. Breathe it in. Now, I want to say this. Your chaos, your play, your aliveness, your initiation, your new beginning, the one that's coming right now, that is right now, it will meet resistance. It will meet resistance. It will meet resistance from the old structures. And when it does, it's going to be uncomfortable in your body. Don't let that discomfort signal that you're doing something wrong. That discomfort is also chaos. This is patterns within patterns within patterns. This is fractal. It's holographic. It's like Russian fucking stacking dolls. It's all the same. It's all the same. When you feel that resistance from the old structures, from the conditioned constructs, from the world around you, that's like, how dare you enjoy yourself? Just know that they are also standing at the edge and they are terrified and their assholes are clenched and they're breathing shallow. And the best thing that you can do is trust yourself. Cheers to the dance, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.